Hi guys, it's Sam here from Bargain.hunting.blonde, and today I am bringing you a bit of a story time of an experience with a fake that I had that I purchased from TheRealReal. So, if you guys have seen my, I think it was my third or my fourth What I'm Selling and Why video, which I'll link up above and down below, I said I was selling my Givenchy medium in the beige color that I had purchased from TheRealReal because I do have two in the medium size and I just prefer and use the navy one that I had bought when, well, actually I had a friend buy for me when she was in Milan and bring back to me. I just prefer that colorway, and so I was going to sell the other one because I hadn't used it in years. So I did sell the other one. I sent it off to Fashion File, and then this is kind of what happened after. So without further ado, let's dive in. So number one, like how this all started. In December of 2016, so yes, a very long time ago, when the Givenchy Antigona was at its highest point, I bought the beige Givenchy Antigona from TheRealReal. They were having a sale. I ended up getting it for a good deal, around $750, which at the time was a steal because it did have damage on one of the top handles, which I decided, at the time, I covered with a Louis Vuitton Twilly when I used it, and then if I really loved the bag, I was just going to send it off to leather surgeon and have it replaced. So fast forward to when I made that video, I was like, I'm selling this bag to Fashion File. I was getting back like $100 less than what I had paid for it, which was fine. I had used it. It was definitely an older bag. The Antigona is not as in style. So I sent it off to Fashion File. And unbeknownst to me, I end up, as they're like processing my order, and actually I didn't send it, I dropped them off. I live very close to a Neiman Marcus that has a drop-off point for Fashion File, and so I just go there, and you end up getting your money back quicker when you do that. So that's what I had done. So I ended up getting an email, which I will read a portion of it to you guys, and it says, "Dear Samantha Re Givenchy, upon inspection of your item, we determined that there were some inconsistencies with your item. Please see notes below from our authentication specialist. There are inconsistencies with the hardware and the overall construction. Our contract states that the seller, you, is required to pay an authentication fee of $75 when an item does not pass our authentication process." Then it goes on to say how you can make your payment and that they'll be sending the item back to me. So when I got this, I was shocked because I had bought this bag from TheRealReal, and I was not worried if it was authentic or not because it looked, to me, identical to the one that had been bought in the Givenchy store in Milan. So I was quite shocked. Just like, wow, okay, well, obviously I have this agreement with Fashion File, like I'm gonna pay the $75, like, just kind of like, I was like bewildered. And this was before my favorite service, Real Authentication. Either it existed, I don't think it existed yet, or at least I knew about it. So I had just expected that TheRealReal had this reputation for, and this was before all the other stuff came out about it, for authenticating their goods. So I hadn't been worried about it. So now we're, you know, like 5 years later, basically, a little less. But I was like, what am I gonna do? So started talking to friends. I was like, obviously I'm paying to get the bag back. So this was in early-ish April. They sent it back to me. I then had it authenticated through Real Authentication, which they use two authenticators, so I paid for them to authenticate the bag. And then I also had another friend who authenticates things. Since she's a friend, she did it for free. So I had, at that point, 3 individual people besides Fashion File look at the bag, and every single person came back saying the bag is not authentic. So I was like, okay, so, you know, because I thought maybe, you know, like Fashion File's very good with authenticating things, and honestly, like I trusted them, but I wanted to get other opinions because sometimes bags, especially with different brands, can have inconsistencies that can be explained by like, oh, that's actually because this was produced in this season, and so therefore it was a little different. But 4 people now, including one that had the bag like in their hands, Fashion File literally had the bag, was like, this bag is not authentic. So I reached out to my contact at TheRealReal. I have worked with TheRealReal before. As you guys will have seen if you follow me on Instagram, I make reels with them, pictures with them, stuff like that, because I do work with them and I was one of their, I don't know if they call it influencers or ambassadors, but I worked with TheRealReal. So I reached out to her and she was like, I'm going to put you in contact like ASAP with the right person, which I really appreciated. I will say throughout this entire process, TheRealReal has been very good at getting back to me. They've called me, they've emailed me, which I really appreciate, and they were very efficient. I'm not sure if that is because I kind of had an in because I do know some of the people at TheRealReal, or if that's just how they are with everyone, but I did really appreciate that. So I kind of told her my story. I understand, like, I will fully admit, I understand that fakes do slip through. So there's some very good super fakes out there, but like, obviously I don't want to have a fake in my collection. I don't want to sell a fake to anyone. Like, I just, you know, basically at that point I was like, if there's anything you guys can do, I would love to get a refund, like my money back. And they were very nice about it. They're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to send you a return label. It's free. You don't obviously don't have to pay for it. Send it back to us. We'll look at the bag. Once we get the bag, kind of like regardless of what happens, we will refund you the amount you paid, which I was shocked because it was, you know, 4 years ago. And then they also refunded me the $75 fashion file. So initially it would have just gone back to the card I purchased it on, but I had some fraud issues with that card, so my Visa number has changed. So they just ended up eventually, once I got the bag, sending me checks, which was fine, which I really appreciated. But this to me is kind of where the story gets interesting. So I had been communicating with them. I had sent them all the written opinions I had gotten from these different people. You know, I'd sent them my communication with Fashion File, my communication with Real Authentication, and all of that, just so like they could see it, because I was not trying to like hide anything. I wanted to be like, hey, like, you know, I have spent additional money to get this authenticated in a couple different places, which I did not ask for back, because like that was me doing even more just to make sure. And, you know, I want you guys to know, like, this is what I have done. So I like fully disclosed everything. I was just really open with them. Like, I know fakes slip through, but like, this is not what I would expect out of the RealReal. I obviously, you know, tell a lot of people about the RealReal. I have bought a lot from the RealReal. I am now very glad that I have taken up in the last 2 years to authenticating literally everything I buy through Real Authentication, which, like, thank God, because yeah, I don't want to go through this again. It was very stressful, you know, like waiting to hear back responses and just dealing with it all. And I felt, and like I had to explain to Fashion File like what had happened, because my seller account had been suspended because like I had sent them a fake, but then I had to be like, listen guys, like this is what's happening. And they were really understanding with all of that, which I appreciated. But like, I don't want a fake. I don't think the RealReal wants to sell a fake. No one wants to deal with a fake, right? And it's just stressful. And I was worried because it had been such a long time ago. So the RealReal, like I said, did end up giving me back my money, did end up giving me a check for the $75 fee from Fashion File, because I had like fully disclosed, like, here's how I paid it, like this is what happened. But then I get this email, which I'll read to you. And it says, our authentication team re-inspected the bag, and then it says the name of the bag, which is the Givenchy medium Antigona bag with their like code for it, and confirmed the bag is authentic. They go on to say the zipper pulls in a different state than how it was sold, which is not true, because I did not change anything about that bag, including even fixing the scuff mark on the top handle, as deduced from the pictures of the original listing. The pictures of the original listing, which they ended up putting back up, which we'll get to, are identical. So not really sure where that was. Aside from the damaged hardware, the fonts, construction, branding, serial fonts, and material used are all consistent with the 2014 Givenchy Antigona, and we stand with the original determination of authentic. So I understand that authenticating things is not a science, but when 4 people, one of which had the bag in person, is saying this bag is not authentic, and then the RealReal is refunding me my money, but now they're saying it's authentic, it just doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. And as I stated, I had not changed any of the hardware. That's all what it came with, because I literally used the bag a couple times when I bought it, and then never again, like for years. It just sat in its dust bag. So I thought that was an interesting comment to make, that like the zipper hardware was different because I had not changed anything. And as the Fashion File had stated, it wasn't just the hardware that was different, like the construction of the bag was off. And when you're having 4 people say like the bag's not authentic versus like one who's had authentication issues, I just thought that was weird. Like I said, I know it's not a science, but you know, 4 versus 1 seems a little different. And then to top it off, after we, you know, like they had refunded me their money, they refunded me my money. They were very efficient about it. They definitely communicated with me, which I so much appreciated. But then they put the bag back online for double what I paid for it. And they used the old pictures, which if they said the hardware had been replaced, shouldn't they have taken new pictures? so that they could tell whoever was buying it that like this is actually what the bag looks like. So the last time I checked, the bag was up online for like a little less than $1,400, which is basically double what I paid for it, because the $750 was with like tax and shipping and everything. Using the old pictures of the bag, which stated by their own email isn't how the bag currently looks to them. I was shocked. I think that they handled it well by me, but it does make me nervous that bags that they are getting told like aren't authentic from numerous sources, they're still putting back up online after they've had so many issues with their authentication process. And I know, and I've said it, this is the third time I think I've said in this video, it's not a science. It is definitely more of an art, but I still think like if I was a buyer, right, 4 people have said this bag is not authentic versus 1 party that keeps saying it's authentic. It just doesn't seem right to me. And if anything, as the RealReal, I would have used that bag as like a training bag or a teaching bag. Or if I had decided to resell it, I would have put it up for way less and I would have retaken pictures. So I had talked to a couple people on Instagram and DMs about it, and apparently this is not unique to me. I guess this has happened to a lot of other people who have come forward with bags. They're like, this is not authentic, and then have had to fight to get their money back. I luckily didn't really have to fight to get my money back. They were very nice. They were very understanding. But it does make me nervous to purchase things on the RealReal. I will be, like I have already done for the past 2 years, authenticating everything again, because I do not want a fake item. And I know a lot of you guys watching this feel the same way about it. You don't want a fake item. We're spending a lot of money regardless of if this item is pre-loved or not. And I don't want something that's fake. I am, in the beginning of my legal career, I was an IP lawyer. I have done a lot of intellectual property stuff for different movie studios. Like, I do not want to be infringing on anyone else's copyrights, trademarks, anything like that. I highly doubt there's patents on bags, but maybe there is. But you know, like, those creations and IP rights like belong to a fashion house, and that is the reason that I do not buy fakes, because like I do not condone them. I do not work in that industry, and that isn't even, I do work in that industry, so like I don't want to be doing that. And then that doesn't even go to all the human rights issues that exist with fake bags. So this has happened probably now like almost a month ago with everything, and I got my money back probably like 3 weeks ago. So I did sit on like, should I make this video, should I not? And I was like, yes, I'm going to, because I think you guys should kind of know what happened, and I just want to be fully transparent with everything. Luckily, I was so glad that they took the bag back, because like I do not want that bag in my closet, in my collection. Like but I also wouldn't want to like give it away, because someone might think it's real, and like I don't want that to happen. But regardless, this is kind of what happened. I'd love to know your guys' opinions down below of like what you think. Like, do you think the RealReal should have relisted it? Have you had this experience before with the RealReal? If you don't want to comment below because you don't want everyone to see it, please feel free to DM me. I'd love to talk with you guys about your experiences. It makes me feel a little bit better when other people are like, yeah, I've had a similar experience, or what I think you did was right, or even if it was wrong. Like, I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Like, the bag should go back up with pictures that aren't of the current state of the bag for twice its value. Like, it's just crazy to me. And yeah, I mean, how have your experience been with the RealReal and their customer service? Like, I don't know if I got something special just because I have worked with them before. Like I said, I thought they handled it really, really well, except for the putting it back online and saying it was authentic part. I just thought that was a little odd. But okay, positive note. If you want to see more videos that are not like this, because I rarely ever do this because I authenticate everything now and do not deal with fakes, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video, which is twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. If you want to see how I style my bags, please make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and my blog, all of which are linked down below. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.